Welcome to the Thursday show. That's inevitably going to be the Friday show, so don't be surprised if you see this on Friday and me calling it Thursday show. But today we have Sony is kind of backtracking on one of its plans on you having to have a PSN thingamajiggy in order to link up to your PC games that are PlayStation games onto their thing. Also, ChatGPT has one of the most ironic things happen to it. And of course, we have the new news of the Samsung 25 and our main story as well. Stick around for that. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Sony recently backtracked on the fact that you had to have a PSN thingamajiggy account link on PC in order for you to be able to play those games at all. So they kind of backtrack on that, even though I really don't think it's a big deal. People say that and then open up Blizzard to play Call of Duty or StarCraft, and it's kind of funny, or World of Warcraft, and think that this is a problem. A lot of people who play World of Warcraft had an issue with this. The guy Pirates Games had an issue with being able to log in, but Sony says you won't have to link a PSN account to play some of its PC games anymore. In-game bonuses to be offered to eligible accounts starting tomorrow. Sony will no longer require players to link a PlayStation Network account to enjoy some of its PC games, but there are a few new bonuses in store for those who do. The company detailed this shift in strategy in recent PlayStation blog posts, explaining that it will drop its PSN account connection requirement starting with the release of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on PC tomorrow. It means that Sony has been listening to those who have expressed distaste for the demand, as some previously released PC ports will no longer need a PSN account to play. The full list of affected games include Marvel's Spider-Man 2, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, God of War Ragnarok, and Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. It's unclear how the change will impact other single-player focused PC ports, such as Until Dawn and Days Gone. Despite this, Sony is clearly still interested in getting PC gamers to opt into its online gaming ecosystem. Along the announcement, the PlayStation account linking on the PC is no longer required. The company confirmed that it will soon offer a handful of goodies to those who do connect their accounts. These include early unlocks for suits in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, as well as a one-time resource bundles for games like God of War Ragnarok. You can see the full list of already announced PC. PlayStation in-game content acceptance on PC, Marvel Spider-Man 2 early unlock suits, the Spider-Man 2099 black suit, and the Miles Morales 2099 suit. God of War Ragnarok gain access to the armor of the Black Bear set for Kratos at the first lost items chest in Realms Between Realms, previously only accessible in New Game Plus run, and a resource of 500 hack silver and 250 XP. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered plus 50 points to activate bonus features and unlock extras. Jordan's jacket from the Intergalactic, the Heritage Project as a skin for Ellie. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered gain access to Nora's Valiant outfit. So like, these are just really like smart things that PlayStation do, even though I don't think that it was really a bad thing that PlayStation was kind of requiring you to have a PlayStation account. From what I hear, the PlayStation linking like app is super light, it's not heavy, and it gives you the abilities to get trophies in the PlayStation games, so that way you have an ecosystem within PlayStation, which I kind of don't blame them, like that they want to like break into the PC market like that. A lot of people were really upset, like Pirate Games, I think it's Pirate Games, who got really upset at the fact that like kind of PlayStation was being predatory or something like that, or that this is like gross that they're doing that, and then in the same voice open up World of Warcraft on the Blizzard app. It's the most funny, hilarious thing in the world. The fact that most people complained about this is really bad. I understand if your complaint was because of the fact that people can't play overseas in 180 countries. That in itself is stupid, because PlayStation should have known better into like having certain regions only having to require the PlayStation account. But for the people who are complaining like, oh, that like it's an app, like they're being predatory, like bro, relax before I expose your Steam account that you have on there, along with the EA account, along with your Epic Game Store, along with your Blizzard game app store. So like, please spare me. Like, the people that were really upset about that is the most hilarious thing in the whole world. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think this is a good move by PlayStation, considering all the drama that they got for Helldivers 2 having to be required online linking to PlayStation? Let me know what you think in the comments below. No Man's Sky kind of has a similar story to Cyberpunk, but to give No Man's Sky and Hello Games a ton of credit, they did better than what Cyberpunk's recovery did. No Man's Sky is probably one of the greatest recoveries in gaming history that started off as a fairly okay game and kind of fell under people's expectations. I would have given the game like a 7. Like, it wasn't that good of a game. But now, this game is a solid 8 or 9 type game. Like, with all the updates that No Man's Sky has done, it's insane how good this game is and how much they've offered for free as well. No Man's Sky Massive Worlds Part 2 update adds billions of new solar systems and trillions of new planets. No Man's Sky developer Hello Games has unveiled the Worlds Part 2 update, which it says allows us to push the boundaries of our engine with new technology. Developer Sean Murray said the update adds billions of new solar systems and trillions of new planets to procedurally generated space games, as well as the new biomes and terrains. I've been working on new terrain systems for a little while now, Murray said. Terrain is more detailed and far more varied with huge mountains and these massive features. I'm genuinely at my happiest working on this stuff. The update also brings its gas giants, which are 10 times bigger than No Man's Sky's existing biggest planet. It's truly end-game stuff to explore them with huge storms that reach across the surface, Murray said. He continued, new tech allows oceans that can be several kilometers deep. New lightning systems makes them look so different. New caustics, new light shafts, and deeper that you explore, it gets darker. I've had moments where you're exploring and suddenly some huge creature comes into view and it's just incredible. Every element of our lighting has been rewritten. Shadows show more details, light flickers through the leaves, caves are dark and immersive, oceans now reflect the clouds and stars to create these beautiful sunsets and night skies. Water reacts physically to the world around it. Creatures wade through it, there's little dimples in the rain, and there are large waves as ships fly overhead. Sometimes there's these moments where ships just fly past the still ocean and the water ripples underneath, and so it's peaceful to watch. In the depths of the ocean and land, there's these new creatures to discover. I think we've gone probably weirder than ever before. When you land on the planet, all the tech combines to create an emotion. That feeling of knowing that no one has ever been on this world before. I think it's what makes this game really special. There's tons of new gameplay too. There's this huge quest that ties together some strands that we've been building for years. We've got an expedition that takes you on a tour of all the new worlds that we're building, and it's got some incredible rewards. This is our 9th year since release. I think we're going to do things that the community probably never thought would happen. I honestly can't wait for people to play. Like, I have to give Sean Murray, Hello Games, and all them over there a ton of credit, because if you look at this game and the updates that have happened with this game, it's probably one of the greatest comebacks and achievements that I've seen in a long time. Like I said, No Man's Sky really wasn't special. Like, there was other games out there that did what it did and looked nicer, but somehow No Man's Sky has not only become one of the nicest looking games out there, but it's probably one of the most content packed and probably universally like cool game that you can play, build stuff, has Minecraft elements, also has like a space traveling elements, and it's just such a cool game. Like, if you want to play a game that you can get immersed in and probably get lost in for a very, very long time, if you're into those kinds of games, No Man's Sky is one of those games that you should play. I give it a ton of credit for what it's done. The game's not for everybody, but that's understandable. And let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think about this comeback, No Man's Sky and Hello Games, and how they done? Credit to you, Sean Murray. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So a while ago, PlayStation had made the decision to make Herman Hulst and Hideaki Nishino a kind of part of PlayStation, to where one side did part of the CEO job and the other side did part of the CEO job. One thing that I had been saying for a long time is that, like, it kind of made no sense promoting somebody like Herman Hulst, considering that he kind of had the idea and the baby came from him of like making a lot of live service games from studios that weren't really good at making live service games. And so like, it didn't make sense to promote him when there was such a disaster when it came to PlayStation and what it did with its live service games and how bad Concord was and the amount of live service games that have been canceled, like, it didn't make sense to promote him. Hideaki Nishino elevated to sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Hiroki Toki promoted as Sony CEO. Herman Hulst will remain as the CEO of PlayStation Studios. And honestly, I don't see that lasting very long. I'm not gonna lie to you. This comes from a press release dropped this evening, which also reveals that Sony CFO Hiroki Toki is being promoted to president and CEO of the entire company. He also replaces Kincharo Yoshida, who served as CEO of the company since April 2018, succeeding Kazuyo Hari. Additionally, the SVP Finance, Corporation Development and Strategy Lin Tao is being promoted to CFO. Just last year, it was announced that Nishino and Herman Hulst would split the leadership of the SIE between them after former CEO Jim Ryan's retirement, with Hulst serving as head of PlayStation Studios, Nishino overseeing hardware and tech. With this change, Nishino now oversees the entire SIE operation as well as leading the platform's business group, while Hulst will remain in his role heading up PlayStation Studios specifically. Nishino worked with Sony since 2000, previously serving as SVP Platform Experience Group. I am extremely honored to take the helm at Sony Interactive, he said. Technology and creative are two of our biggest strengths, and we continue to focus on developing experiences that deliver entertainment for everyone. We will continue to grow the PlayStation community in new ways, such as IP expansion, while also delivering the best in technology innovation. I want to thank Herman for his expertise and leadership as he continues his role as CEO, Studio Business Group. I want to thank Herman Hulst for the expertise and leadership as he continues his role as CEO, Studio Business Group. I am deeply grateful for the PlayStation community and their continued support, and I'm very excited for what the future holds. So again, it didn't really make sense to make Herman Hulst the guy that was kind of promoted for doing something bad. And I think a lot of the people understand this. And a while back, there was kind of a push, for a lot of Japanese people who have been in PlayStation, kind of pushed out of PlayStation with the closure of Sony PlayStation Japan kind of closing down, and the ones who make Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, and all those other games kind of just shut down and was really forgotten about. Yoshida was pushed out of PlayStation Studios management, and it was kind of a lot of exodus of Japanese talent that was there, and it only makes sense to not kind of get somebody like Herman, give him a reward for making probably one of the biggest disasters in gaming history with Concord and with its live service push. Even though Helldivers is doing really good and Gran Turismo is doing really good and they're gonna make a ton of money, Helldivers is probably number 2 in the most sold games of the year. So it makes a lot of sense that these games are doing good. But even with those games doing so well, Concord was such a disaster and such a black eye to the company, and with a lot of other various things that he made decisions of, it did not make sense for him to kind of get rewarded for that and get something that a lot of other people more than likely deserved. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that this is a good demotion? Do you think this is bad? Let me know what you think below. One of the things that I love about Samsung is their Samsung S25. Their S line of Samsung Galaxy phones have been some of my favorite phones. Even though I use iPhone now, Samsung Galaxies have been some of the best phones out there. Not in terms of OS. Their OS back in the day was a little slow to update, but it's up to par now. Everything we know about the Samsung Galaxy S25. During the Galaxy's Unpacked keynote presentation, Samsung officially showing its flagship smartphones with the Galaxy 25 series. This includes the Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra. It's not a surprise as we expect an improved set of features and upgrades like a more powerful processor for better performance. But Samsung stressed its roster of AI features. Starting with tech details, the S25 Ultra has a 6.9-inch AMOLED 2X QHD 120Hz screen, measures in a 77.6 millimeters by 162.8 millimeters by 8.2 millimeters, weighs in at 118 grams. Looking at the Galaxy S25 Plus, you get a 6.7-inch QHD plus screen. Lastly, the standard Galaxy S25 gets a 6.2-inch HD plus screen and measures in at a 70.5 by 146.9 millimeters by 7.2 millimeters. Starting with tech details, the S25 Ultra has a 6.9-inch screen, AMOLED 2x QHD plus. So this phone's gonna be a big beefy phone, and I love me a fat phone, like not in terms of like width, but in terms of like just give me a fat phone, like a big freaking fat screen, a big one, like a long one. And like cool, I like the fact that they're thin too, but I love me a big screen. One of the things that I miss from Samsung phones is how big the screens are and how like cool the pen is. One of the downsides to the S25 Ultra is that you're not going to be able to have the Bluetooth setting anymore. They kind of removed that because like 2 or 3% of the population, kind of like the people who use Samsung Galaxy Ultras, use the Bluetooth on the pen. It kind of sucks because the Bluetooth was kind of a cool way to record or to like take photos and stuff like that, but nobody ever really used it, so like I don't blame them for removing it. And it wasn't only in screen that we're seeing that is big from the Ultra, but all models use Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite, and Samsung slates that it brings a performance boost of 40% in NPU, 37% in CPU, and 30% in GPU compared to last gen, result in about 8 improvement in frames per second in gaming. There will also be a new heat dissipation system with 40% bigger vapor chamber and improved thermal interface material. Battery life will always vary, but Samsung claims 31 hours of watching videos off of its 5000 milliamps battery and more effective power consumption. The S25 also uses Cornea Gorilla Armor 2 to protect the phone and provide better durability. So yeah, like get a case. Like I don't care how much of these companies tell you that these phones are like super like durable and all that. Like I would not listen at all to any of that. And get yourself a screen protector, get yourself a phone case. If you're not rich, you need to get yourself a phone case, because if you break it, it's going to cost you a lot of money to replace that screen, or to just get a whole new one, depending how bad it is. Samsung's new One UI 7 AI Assist took up significant chunk of the presentation. Surprise, surprise, AI's here to stay. It's the new generation of its mobile AI ecosystem built into several functions on Galaxy phones. They're also powered with Google Gemini 2.0 AI engine. While it's geared to be more effective and easier to use, like pressing one button on the side of the phone to communicate with any AI function, what stood out is how Samsung stressed securing your personal data, which is kind of a surprise because it's never been a focal thing, because that's more been of an Apple thing, and it's made people feel very secure with Apple phones, having that security and that extra like we don't give your information out and stuff like that, even though they probably do. Samsung also showcased generative AI features like photo editing suggestions with writing, among other features. So like yeah, Samsung's Galaxy 25 and S25 Plus now up for pre-order. Pre-orders are now open for all Galaxy 25 models, and they will launch February 7th. The S25 Ultra starts at $1,299 for 256 storage capacity, with options to upgrade to 512 or terabyte. The S25 Plus starts at $9 for the 256 gigabyte model, while the standard 25 starts at $799 with the 128 gigabyte, which isn't too bad for the standard S model. Like it's still pretty big. Like it's not as big as the Ultra. The Ultra is pretty big, but that's why it costs what it costs. If Apple doesn't step up with their next phone that they announced, I more than likely am gonna like probably not use Apple anymore. I'm more than likely gonna use a Samsung phone, but we'll see what happens with Apple. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Are you excited for the new Samsung phone? Let me know what you think below. And now for our main story, and surprise surprise, it's about AI. AI is not going anywhere, but with this story it kind of seems like the AI bubble might be popped and it's pissing some people off in the United States. Namely, the person who makes ChatGPT maker suspects China's dirt cheap DeepSeek AI models were built using OpenAI data, and the irony is not lost on the internet. Now, for reals, this is the most fuck around and find out, like, with karma kind of thing, because yeah, we'll get into why that is. But all these stories are by IGN, by the way. If you want to go check them out, go check them out. I keep forgetting to say that, but all of them are from IGN. The people behind ChatGPT have expressed their suspicion that China's ultra cheap DeepSeek AI models were built upon OpenAI data. This week, Donald Trump said DeepSeek should be considered a wake-up call for the US tech industry after Nvidia saw almost $600 billion wiped off its market value, which, by the way, if you didn't see my last video, I kind of said that, like, yeah, right now Nvidia is reaping the benefits of having like its AI business and them kind of ignoring the GPU market and gamers and not really interested in making GPUs well anymore. Like, it's not gonna last forever, and one day they're gonna come back crawling. That all depends how consumers act as well. The emergence of DeepSeek sent stocks in companies heavily invested in artificial intelligence into a freefall. Nvidia, which dominates the market for GPU upon which AI models run, was hit the hardest when its share tumbled 16.86%. The biggest loss in Wall Street history. Microsoft, Meta Platforms, and Google parent Alphabet fell between 2.1 and 4.2, while the AI server maker Dell Technologies was down 8.7. DeepSeek claims its R1 model is significantly cheaper alternative to the Western offerings such as ChatGPT. It built on the open source DeepSeek v3, which reportedly requires far less computing power than Western models and is estimated to have been trained for just 6 million. While some have disputed the claim, DeepSeek has had the effect of calling into question the billions of American tech companies are investing in AI, which in turn has spooked investors. Indeed, DeepSeek shot to the top of the most downloaded free app in the US, off of back of rising discussion about its effectiveness. Now, Bloomberg has reported that OpenAI and Microsoft are looking into whether DeepSeek use OpenAI's API to integrate OpenAI's AI models into DeepSeek's own models. We know the PRC China-based companies and others are constantly trying to distill the models of leading US AI companies, OpenAI told Bloomberg. Distillation is a technique developers use to train AI models by extracting data from larger, more capable ones. It is a violation of OpenAI's terms of service. As the leading builder of AI, we engage in countermeasures to protect our AI, including a careful process for which frontier capabilities to include in release models, and believe as we go forward that critically important that we are working closely with the US government to best protect the most compatible models from efforts by adversaries and competitors to take US technology. President Donald Trump's artificial intelligence David Sachs told Fox News, "There's substantial evidence that what DeepSeek did here is a distillation knowledge of OpenAI models, and I don't think OpenAI is very happy about this. I think one of the things you're going to see over the next few months is our leading AI companies taking steps to prevent distillation." Observers were quick to point out the irony here, given OpenAI is accused of ripping off the internet in creation of the ChatGPT. Tech PR writer Ed Ziltron tweeted, "I'm so sorry, I can't stop laughing. OpenAI, the company who built on stealing literally the entire internet, is crying because DeepSeek may have trained the outputs from ChatGPT. They're crying their eyes out. What a bunch of hypocritical little babies." In January 2024, OpenAI insisted that it was impossible to create AI tools like ChatGPT without copyrighted material. In a submission to the UK House Lords Communications and Digital Select Community, OpenAI said it could not train language models such as ChatGPT without access to copyrighted work. Because copyright today covers virtually every sort of human expression, including blog posts, photographs, forum posts, scraps of software code, and government documents, it would be impossible to train today's leading AI models without using copyrighted materials, OpenAI said in its own submission, as reported by the paywalled UK newspaper. Limiting training data to public domain books and drawings created more century ago might yield an interesting experiment, but would not provide AI systems that meet the needs of today's citizens. Basically, what they're saying is like, we had to rip off the internet in order to give you ChatGPT. And it's funny that even if China did do this, I really don't care if China ripped off ChatGPT, because the CEO is a complete like evil villain when it came to like ChatGPT and like kind of like trying to get grants from the US government, kind of doing a bunch of like very non-cool things. And like I really like in this case, I'm just happy that I got a ChatGPT that's not only more efficient, uses less energy, and also is completely free, unlike ChatGPT. So like I'm kind of okay with them doing that. And like this is what you get. Also, like you reap what you sow. Because not only that, the New York Times lawsuit followed a lawsuit in September 2023 brought by 17 authors, including Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin, who allege systematic theft on a mass scale, which they did. They did systematically steal everybody's content in order to put it in its AI models to make its AI models feel more modern. And one of those was George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, and among 17 other authors' copyrighted material. So it's like it's the most poetic justice that you could find on the internet, and I needed this because it seems like powerful corporations are always getting away with murder, and quite literally murder at times. And I'm so glad that this has egg on their face and they're kind of like reaping what they sow. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. What do you think about ChatGPT and its DeepSeek competitor now in China? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think it's a good thing? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you got all the way to the end, type Bulbasaur for Bulbasaur being in the corner here in the comment section. Let me know what you think below. And remember, you're pretty good.